You want to know the 3 most popular types of camera that I see in the UK, Europe, and even here in Asia right now. Those are Fujifilm, old digicams, and the Osmo Pocket 3. Well, potentially not for much longer, because I think we're about to start seeing this, the Osmo Pocket 4, absolutely everywhere. Hi, I'm George. If you're new around here, remember to hit the subscribe button down below this video. It's free and really helps out the channel. And a big thank you to DJI for sending me the Osmo Pocket 4 and kindly sponsoring today's video. I've been shooting a lot on the Pocket 4 while here in Korea, in Seoul, on a few days down in Busan, and on a few day trips around the outskirts of Seoul as well. And while I was a big lover of the Pocket 3, and honestly I didn't really think there was much you could improve about the Pocket 3, DJI have made a few notable improvements to the Pocket 4, including now having additional internal storage, a few changes to the outside of the camera, and a couple of more bumps in specs, I guess, that might get your attention. Just to get some surface level things out of the way, this camera looks remarkably similar to the Pocket 3. You'll notice it's like a couple of millimeters bigger, a new front grip texture, and this new electronic contact on the back of the gimbal, but we'll talk about that a little bit more later on. And there's also, more notably, a couple of new additional buttons on the front of the camera. So when you open up the screen to the landscape orientation, you now have 2 buttons underneath. One which acts as our dedicated zoom button, and the other which is actually a custom button that can be assigned to a few different functions, given the fact that you can give it a function for one press, for a double press, and for a triple press. So in a way, we've gained 3 custom buttons in one. Let's get into a lot of example footage.
Sun is out!
Last week, we took the train down to Busan. Luckily no zombies this time around, but we did have mixed weather while we visited. But Busan was still amazing and really beautiful to explore. This mix of weather gave me some different experiences in terms of shooting on the Pocket 4 to see how it handled in more overcast, moody lighting, as well as the bright and sunny, highly saturated lighting. And we still had lots of nice views to be able to demonstrate what this camera can do. For all of the footage you're seeing in this video, I'm shooting in 10-bit D-Log, and I'm shooting in 4K at either 25p or at 50p. And I'm shooting in the high bitrate mode, which you can find in the menu, just to increase that quality a little bit further. And we do actually now have a high-speed FPS mode in 4K, compared to the, I believe, 120 FPS on the Pocket 3, we now have 240 FPS. You can access this new high FPS mode by going into the slow motion mode, which isn't actually in the dedicated video mode. But when you are shooting in 240 FPS, you can't shoot in D-Log, you can only shoot in normal. But honestly, a lot of the time on the Pocket 3, I used to just shoot in normal if I was kind of shooting in auto exposure a lot of the time. I really like the straight out of camera colors from the DJI Pocket cameras. I actually used that a lot when I was in Japan last year on the Pocket 3. So even if you shoot in the 240 FPS mode, you're still going to have nice colors straight out of camera. You just can't really grade to the same extent that you can when you shoot in D-Log. While we had the ability to digital zoom on the Pocket 3, the Pocket 4 now has the ability to crop in with the digital zoom with the touch of a button. So this gives us that 40mm full frame equivalent by cropping in 2 times on the standard 20mm equivalent lens. This is a lossless 4K crop, and I think it looks pretty good. And I've been using this a lot while exploring here in Korea. We do then have the ability to zoom in even further, up to 4 times, but you will see a loss in quality because this is just using a digital zoom and not this lossless 4K crop. The other day, we finally made a day trip up to Upyong Hanok Village, just outside the north side of Seoul, and the Pocket 4 was a no-brainer to take with me while I was taking some travel photos. But this time with much nicer weather than when we made our few days trip down to Busan. And I wanted to explore, take some photos, and document the day using the Pocket 4. The main reason I picked up the Pocket 3 back in 2024 was actually to use as a dedicated B-roll camera when I was out just for like a day of photography. It was good for getting like B-roll POV stuff when I was taking photos, or just B-roll of a camera or lens that I was reviewing without carrying a second camera with me the whole time. Like, it's super small, it can fit in a sling or in like a jacket pocket really easily, and you can just get really nice high quality 4K slow-mo wherever you go. So that's pretty much what I'll be using the Pocket 4 for the majority of the time when I'm using this camera. I love how I can mount it to so many different things, it doesn't get in the way, and when you use it with like magnetic ND filters or Pro Mist filters, you can really level up the quality of this camera. I've also been testing the Pocket 4 in some low light situations, both with low light mode and also just in this standard like video exposure mode. And I think you can actually get really solid low light video even without the low light mode. And then shooting in like 4K 25p with 1/50 shutter and then just increasing the ISO a little bit, you can get really nice results in D-Log when you apply a nice grade to the edit as well. I think it's very usable in both bright sunny conditions and in like nighttime. If you have a nice amount of like street lights and things like that happening, you can get some really nice footage out of this camera even in low light. When I've been mounting the Pocket 4 to random objects to get some like third person like locked off shots, I've actually been using the new Active Track 7 to be able to get some nice tracking shots of me even when it's just me filming myself. And this was already pretty good on the Pocket 3, but now on the Pocket 4, we have the ways to like assign different subjects and to be able to track anything we want, but just even using the face recognition to then track you in a scene is so sticky and so reliable. This feels like a decent upgrade on the previous tracking. And honestly, I don't use this that much when I'm kind of filming a, vlogging like handheld shot, but it's much more for when you stick the camera on something when you're out and about and you want to get a nice like dynamic shot of you. And you can even use this in the 2x zoom to get a nice variety of angles and focal lengths. It's not just the vlogging camera, it's honestly so much more useful in that, especially when you're out filming yourself or getting lots of variety of B-roll without having someone else around to help you. Of course, the Osmo Pocket cameras are nothing without their accessories, much like the Mic 3, which I have here, and the Mic 2, which you might remember from the Pocket 3, and these help you with getting much clearer audio whether you're indoors or outdoors like I am right now. But this isn't the only accessory we have for the Pocket 4 now. Now, along with the Mic 3, we also have a new attachable LED light that simply attaches to the back of the gimbal using these new electronic contacts and a magnet. And then I can activate this by quickly double tapping my custom button to turn it on. And then we can go into the settings and change the power by 3 different levels, and then also adjust the color temperature from cool to natural to warm. And this is very easy to use, and it can help you lift some details in a dull outdoor setting like this, or for lighting someone indoors as well. The Pocket 4 accepts the same quick release system as the Pocket 3, which means you can use this with the battery grip or with the mini tripod attachment, as well as any other DJI or third-party accessories that you can fit to the Pocket cameras. One difference here you will notice though is the hard case is now missing. This is no longer like a gimbal lock and hard case in one thing. Now we have a gimbal lock that fits on pretty elegantly, and then this goes inside a soft pouch. And the soft pouch now has space for things like filters and the Mic 3, and you can also fit the fill light in there as well. So it's more of a all-in-one like carry case for the accessories, but I do kind of wish we had the option for the hard case as well. Maybe we will at some point. Maybe they might sell this as like a separate accessory, because if you don't use the Mic 3 all the time, or you don't use the fill light all the time, the hard case is a nice way to just have the camera ready and not worry about having to put the gimbal lock every single time. I kind of preferred that in a way. I see the benefits of the soft pouch, but the hard case before was also pretty good. And if you want to see even more example footage from this camera, I was actually using this a lot when I was making this video here. A day of street photography here in Seoul, but pretty much all of the B-roll in this video was shot on the Osmo Pocket 4. So go take a look.